So what we'll do now is wipe down the dashboard. And usually when you wipe down the dashboard, what you'll do is you'll take this stuff and you'll aim it away from the car, because you don't want overspray getting on this, because those little specks show up. Even after you wipe it, the little specks will still show up. So what I usually do is I'll take it and I'll go up under the car actually, and I'll spray it then. But just for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna spray it here where you can see it. So I'll spray the edges first, because if you don't spray the edges, if you only spray the middle, what you'll be doing is wiping the dressing on with the middle, then turn around and wiping it off with the edges, which will basically leave your car with a dollar shine. So I'll spray the edges first, and I'll go back through, and I'll spray the middle. And so what I'll start off with is this part of the dashboard. I usually hold my rags by the corners like that to make sure they don't come unfolded. And another good place to spray this towel is at the floor. If it doesn't have rubber floor mats in it, then you'll spray it at the floor. As you can see, we haven't cleaned this floor mat yet. So finish wiping this down. We wipe down the horn, but we do not touch the steering wheel. Center console, make sure you hit here. Hit up under the center console. Hit right there around the gauges, but you don't want to hit the screen, because this stuff will definitely smear it. Now I'm going to spray a little bit more on it. And now I'm going to wipe down the armrest. And I'll wipe this down. This is actually going to streak. It'll streak wood grain. This plastic, it'll streak. So what I'll do is I'll wipe it down, then I'll flip it over, and I'll dry it off. That usually gives it a decent shine, and it takes out all the streaks. So it's a pretty good method. And when detailing, you always want to be careful with watches, with like these metal clips when you're washing cars. Like, I don't know if you saw it, but this rubbed up against the plastic and left a little streak there. I had to go back and get off. You always want to be careful with things like that. Usually I'll put a piece of packing tape over it or something. This time I didn't. We'll also wipe off around the radio. We won't touch the radio. The basic rule of thumb with wiping down with this dressing, and this is a vinyl, leather, and rubber dressing, you don't want to wipe down anything they touch. So we're not wiping down the steering wheel. We're not wiping down the gear shift. We're not going to wipe down this part of the door, the part they grab. Anything they'll touch on a regular basis, we don't wipe down. We don't wipe down any of the buttons, any of the knobs. We don't wipe down any gauges, anything like that. We avoid all of that stuff, because that stuff gets back to the steering wheel. They might grab this to shut the door, then they go to touch their steering wheel, they go to make a turn, and their steering wheel slips out their hand. So anything they touch, we don't touch with the dressing. We'll clean it, but we won't touch it with the dressing. And now I'm just wiping down around this vent and over in this area. And I'll show you how to wipe down leather seats. You can just point the camera at that back seat. To wipe down leather seats, like I said, this is a vinyl, leather, and a rubber dressing. So you use the same thing basically. So now this is the only seat I've shampooed at this point. I've already shampooed the seat. And when you shampoo leather, what you're doing is you're basically cleaning out the pores. You're giving it the ability to breathe, to basically suck in oils and release oils. When it gets a buildup of dirt, it's preventing it from sucking in oils, which leads to premature wear, cracks, creases, rips, tears, all the nasty things we try to avoid. So after we've shampooed it, we got all the dirt out the pores, but we also stripped it of all oils. So now what this vinyl, leather, and rubber dressing is going to do, I'm going to spray it on, and it's going to basically jump start the leather again. It's going to put the oils back into the leather so it can start its breathing cycle. The microfiber towels are really good for doing this because they're gentle on the leather. You want to make sure it's even. If you let the dressing run off the rag too much, if your rag gets too dry, it's going to leave a really uneven look, which doesn't look good. And black is really good because it lets you know exactly what you hit and what you've missed. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but like there's streaks here on this part. All of that stuff is part of the drying process. That's just because of the way I applied it. But once it dries in, all of those streaks will disappear. As long as you see good coverage right after you wipe it, then you're pretty good. Wipe that again. Part of the seat that's oftenly missed. We're going to wipe this part. Want to pull this down. Wipe this. My rag's falling apart. You always keep your rags folded in fours because you get more use out of them that way. Once this side get dirty, I'll flip to this side, and once both those sides dirty, I'll turn the inside out like that, and I'll get two more sides out of it. So that's why we always keep them folded in fours. We never just leave a rag unfolded and use it. And we still haven't vacuumed this out, so if we did, I would dress it, but since we didn't, I'm not. What we will dress is that front cup holder. So, but that's pretty much it. You know, with this being a detail, we'll also wipe down this door here. We'll wipe down the top of this door. Make sure you get behind the door handle. Wipe that down. Rag cam part again. Now what I'm doing is taking my finger, sticking the rag. I'm going to put my finger up under the window button and make sure I get that area. Wipe that off. Wipe the speaker. Now if this speaker was actually dirty, what I would have done is took my stiff bristled brush and scrubbed it that way. And that does a pretty effective job of getting it out. Get anything that, usually it's just mud off of a shoe or something though. And that's how you wipe everything down. You'll repeat that process. You'll wipe down all the seats, you'll wipe down all the doors, the center console, the horn, the cup holder, anything that's plastic, leather, or vinyl, or rubber that the customer won't touch. We wipe all of that down. So that's heat vents, the whole nine. So the next video, we'll show you how the touch-up vac we won't put on video because it's just like the first vac we showed you. But next thing we will put on video is how to wax the car.